Welcome to the story room. I have a creepy tale for you today called Always Count the Legs of a Spider. Let me preface this by saying I have a severe case of acrophobia. Seriously, even those tiny ones scare me. If I got a spider in a room, any room, you can bet I'd be the first to leave. So it's God's greatest joke that this should be happening to me. The guy who regularly dissolves into tears over daddy longlegs in the sink. Just a few years back, I ran into a friend of mine on my way to the corner shop. So naturally, I was forced to stop and make small talk. When I glanced down at my feet, while racking my brain for an excuse to leave, I saw these long, hairy legs sticking out from under my Reebok, twitching meekly. Now, when I say those legs were long, I don't mean, hey, that spider's got pretty long legs long. I mean, oh my God, look how long this spider's legs are. Long. I'm not exaggerating when I say its leg span could easily have covered the small car's wheel from end to end. Staring down in utter revulsion, not daring to remove my foot from what I imagined to have been a very gruesome scene. Some part of me noted that this monster had 10 legs in place of 8. Without looking back, I turned tail and sprinted all the way back down the street to my house. At the front door, I kicked the offending shoe off into the street before slamming it shut. I backed up to the sofa, shuddering as phantom spiders crawled around under my shirt. The rest of that evening was spent on my laptop, trying to find the species that the spider belonged to, while simultaneously avoiding the images tab. I'd seen enough spiders already. Thanks. As expected, my efforts uncovered nothing, so I retired to bed for the night feeling very confused and very uncomfortable. Sometime during the night, I awoke to the faint sound of scuttling in the darkness. Blinking sleep from my eyes, I rolled over and flicked on the bedside lamp. As warm light washed over the cramped bedroom, my blissful ignorance shattered into oblivion. On the bedside table, so close to the lamp I'd almost touched it, sat a huge 10-legged spider. I was unable to move, unable to think, unable to breathe as I looked at its face. Set into the front of its dark, fat body were a pair of brown eyes, human eyes. They were heavily bloodshot and didn't appear to have eyelids, just big, round, and boring deep into mine. It was an abomination, the stuff of nightmares even for someone without my crippling fear of spiders. Whenever my head moved, its eyes would swivel unblinking to track mine. Something about knowing that it was watching freaked me out. And then I blinked. In the split second that my eyes were shut, there was a sound of mad scrambling followed by a sickeningly heavy weight falling on against my chest. It was on top of me. Its bulging eyes locked onto mine mere inches from my face. My heart hammered furiously for the remainder of the night and well into the morning. The spider stayed motionless as I did. Apart from the constant, oh crap, running through my mind, I only had 2 unique thoughts the entire time. There was the point that I very nearly broke and actually considered knocking the beast away and making a run for it. But knowing full well it would probably just have killed me with those vicious fangs, I couldn't go through with it. I also came to the realization that this had to be the same creature I'd stepped on earlier that day. In fact, I was certain of it. It took me an embarrassingly long time to snap to. But then, my mind wasn't exactly peak performance just then. I'd killed it. And this was its insane idea of revenge. Lord knows how it returned to life. Hours after the torment began, when the sun had fully risen, the thing finally zipped away in an instant, disappearing through an open door. It was a while before I felt able to move again, and even longer until the torrent of tears finally stopped. Later, that same morning, I received some troubling news. Apparently my neighbor Todd had been taken to the hospital during the early hours of the morning. His wife had awoken to the sound of his sobbing. When she turned on the light, she'd been horror-struck to find her husband's eyes were missing, with dark, empty pits in their place. I can only imagine what it must feel like to open your eyes, but see nothing. That poor guy. I have an appointment with a therapist tonight. I'll be paying through the nose for him to convince me that this didn't happen. Money well spent, if you ask me. So here's my advice to you. If anyone ever needs you to kill a spider, then by all means rid the world of as many as you can. You'd be doing many of us a huge favor, trust me. But for your own sake, you might want to count the legs before you do.